No one gives a crap about you enough to tell you this. So I'm just gonna say it. Money doesn't just affect what you buy with it, okay? You see, money, this little paper thingy over here, affects literally all aspects of your life, from physically to emotionally, from your perspective to your perception of things, okay? It controls how safe you feel, it controls how much rest you get, it controls how loud you speak in front of others, and how small you make yourself. And the god awful part about this is that you probably call this being responsible or being realistic. Or my favorite one, the I'm just not a money person. I can see that. But that's not humility, okay? That's not showing humility. That is a condition, okay? You got a condition. You have been conditioned to think this way, just like the rest of the world. And if hearing this annoys you a little bit, what does this child think she is? I'm probably way older than her. I was a conditioned person. I'm working myself out of it. So at least I admit it, okay? Because more than half of the world is still living in Lululand, okay? So if you are still listening, then that means we're getting somewhere. Hi, my name is Marisha. Welcome back. And if you are new here, subscribe and don't rush this one. Okay? Some realizations take a minute or two to really swallow. Let me say something carefully, okay? Because the thing is, people get weird, really weird, when money gets involved, okay? Most of what you think are your financial habits are actually emotional survival patterns, okay? Spending, saving, overworking, under earning, and avoiding your bank app. It's haunted. I've done that before. The first year or two that I got my bank app, I avoided it like it was a plague. It was no joke. I literally didn't open it up for the whole year. And I am here to inform you that if you are doing the exact same crap that I did, then it's not some random kink, okay? You do not wake up one day and then you're suddenly afraid of money. Now, it's something that you learn. And it's not something that you learn in a textbook or like someone tells you, oh, money is a bad thing or something like that. No, it's quiet. It's learned quietly and subtly, and usually starts when you are younger. Okay, usually while you're watching adults stress and argue, and relationships collapse, and people disappear behind money, and eventually, as kids, we get the idea. Okay, like, oh, let's not bring up money. Okay, let's not talk about money. Whenever money is brought up in what is the subject, things get stressful and out of hand. Okay? And as kids, we pick up a lot of things that grow in the back of our heads, even as we grow older and forget about it. Is still what it becomes the principles that we live by. And yeah, like, no one sat us down and like told us, hey, money is a dangerous thing, don't do this, money is terrible, avoid it, blah blah. No. But they didn't have to, okay? We felt it. We felt the vibe, okay? We read the room and that's what the room said. It's easy to feel it in the tension and in the silence that comes after bills, and in the way that joy suddenly has a price tag on it. And we don't really tell people, this part, but money wasn't a neutral thing in most of our lives. It was an emotional substance. And now, as an adult, you think that you are making logical choices, but your nervous system is actually the one driving these logical choices. And you might not want to admit it, but that does not make it any less true. It just makes you in denial. My dad, our wise old man, used to say something that didn't make sense to me when I was young and dumb, okay? He said, money doesn't change people, it exposes pressure. I thought that was just one of his dad lines, trying to be cool, sound deep, but mean nothing. Turns out, I was the fool. Because what I realized growing up was that money doesn't make you anxious. It shows you where in life you're anxious. Now, most people call their money trauma a personality, okay? You know, it's the classic. I'm just bad with money. That's how I am, dude. I don't like talking about finance. That stuff is so boring. I don't need much, you know, I'm fine as I am. Well, because you've been living like that, so that's what you find comfortable. That's if your safe spot. But there is a verse in the Bible. Let's get biblical because, you know, I got to back up what I'm saying as much as I can. Let's get biblical. In Proverbs, it says, the borrower is servant to the lender. This is an observation. Dependence creates fear, and fear creates silence, and silence creates control. And then suddenly, money isn't math anymore. It's power. And if I sounded cool saying that just now, drop a fire emoji in the comments to support my movement. Okay, let's get serious. Let's get serious and uncomfortable because that's what we do here. We're here to be uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, then something's wrong. Some of you don't chase more money because having less gives you moral cover. It's your way of being humble, okay? Because maybe you're one of those people who think that being rich makes you a greedy person. You know, it keeps expectations low, you know, it keeps people from asking too much of you and it keeps you from risking disappointment. Well, disappointing others. Yeah, I said it. And some of you obsess over money, not because you love wealth, like you love the luxury, the Chanel, the Gucci and Lamborghini, no. But because you are terrified of the helplessness, okay? And this I get, you know, I was on this side, okay? I wanted to be the rich auntie at the family gathering. And I didn't want to tell my, you know, nieces and nephew that, oh, I'm sorry, dear, I couldn't buy you anything this year. Your auntie is broke. I didn't want that. I didn't want to feel that type of helplessness, okay? And maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but the point is, these are two different behaviors in the same world. Same wounds, okay? Viktor Frankl wrote, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. But the painful truth about this is that most people never change the situation, their relationship. They just rearrange the numbers, okay? You know, new income, but same fear. New saving, but same scarcity voice inside your head. And I'm pretty sure you felt this, okay? Or else you wouldn't have found this video or clicked on it even. Then comes the self-sabotage part. My favorite, okay? The missed opportunities, the half commitments, and the almost trying crew. You tell yourself, it's the timing. I couldn't get the timing right this time. Or I wasn't lucky, you know, I'm just not that lucky, you know? I don't have good luck. Or it's my circumstance. You know, I was born in a poor family, you know, the economy, blah, blah. My situation is like this and that. And, you know, I get it. I've said all of these excuses too, okay? So I get it. I get where you're coming from. But if you would just be honest with yourself and just face the music, success will force you. You would have understood that success would have forced you to rewrite your entire identity. But honestly, I think you already know this. Why else did you find this video? I think you already know this, and that is exactly what terrifies you and makes you hesitate. Because, yeah, growth always ruins your excuses. It's just rude like that, okay? But, you know, beats being in denial. Here's the last thing I want to leave you with, okay? Your money trauma, whatever trauma this thing gave you, it's not about the money itself, okay? It's about your safety. It's about worth. It's about your voice and permission. Healing doesn't mean becoming rich, okay? It means becoming calm, around your choices. It means money stops being the boss and starts being information about you. Now, look, you don't have to fix this overnight, okay? You don't have to overhaul your life all in one day. No, if that is what you expect from this, then you are setting yourself up for failure and discouragement and disappointment and pain. So don't do that. But you do have to stop pretending that your financial patterns came from out of nowhere. Okay? You didn't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I don't like money. I'm just not a money person. You weren't born bad with money, bad with business or anything. No, that is not who you are. And once you realize this, you'd be the dumbest person to deny it. So talk to me in the comments. What belief about money did you inherit that you never consciously chose? And if this hit a nerve, subscribe. If it didn't, let me know. I'll work on my end better. We don't rush clarity here, okay? We let it arrive when it is ready. And I know I sound a bit dramatic, so poetic, blah, blah, this might be scripted. But overall, I just want you to know that this thing that you call money trauma and you're saying that it's your problem, I'm here to confirm and to inform you that is 100% it is fixable. And you still got a shot at that future you want. And with that said, I'll be seeing you in my next one.